Hello, my friends. I'm Andrea, and I would like to talk to you today about the next week in the financial markets. We saw what happened, so the purpose is to see what the stars do have in store for the week December 11th, December 17th, and we are ready to explore and to see if this, for example, surge upwards that you could see on Bitcoin would really continue. Again, this is about the markets in general, but usually we need to have this enablement in the markets, and then if we have alignment on the financial asset itself, like in case of Bitcoin, we might see a big move upwards. And this is also what we experienced this week with the astrology, quite aligned for the markets and Bitcoin at the same time. So let's dive into it. You see a new format for this, and I would like to try this to see if it's more clear. And I would like basically to structure the presentation a bit better. We focus on the week as such and also on each day. So let's go into the details now. The weekly forecast is for December 11th and December 17th, and we do have the major, the major event of the week that I would like to present in general from now on is Mercury turning retrograde, which will happen on the 13th. Of course, on the 12th, we do have the new moon as well. This is also important. But I would like to give you some food for thought. So what happens when Mercury turns retrograde in general? This happens 3, even sometimes 4 times a year regularly. And you all know about the link between Mercury and the markets as such. So stay tuned for the end, where I would like to give you some insights on this Mercury retrograde. We see the whole week here at a glance, as you are used to, actually. And I also separated the weekend days because the transaction volume is lower. So just know they are different. And we do have good weather in the beginning of the week, also towards the end of the working days, at least for Thursday and Friday, as you can see. And we have some turbulence announced for Sunday, and I would like to dive into the details now. We do have on the 11th a nice weather, which is mid-intensity. It's a mix between 2 low-intensity aspects, which are Mercury sextile Venus and Venus sextile Lilith. These positive aspects towards Venus always bring really good news about trading of currencies and cryptocurrencies, and the fact that Mercury is involved. It's also about good news in the press, or even rumors, on social networks, whatever. This will be a good start into the week. Then we have a tendency towards an overall market price increase, especially because of the Venus sextile Lilith. As we could see last week, it was about Jupiter and Lilith Trine. So Lilith is about hidden things, but it's also about adventure. It's about the possibility to take more risks, basically an increased risk appetite. So let's take that into account. So expect some movement upwards. Again, remember the last weekend as well, since the influences from the weekend will be here as well. But overall, it's a positive start into the week. Then the important December 12th, it's a new moon in Sagittarius, and this happens exactly one day before Mercury turns retrograde. This means that Mercury is very strong on the day, and Mercury symbolizes markets and trading. So we see the new moon at Sagittarius at 20 degrees, which actually is the Scorpio degree, because 20 is the degree of Scorpio. We can go into the theory of degrees a bit in other videos, especially on Instagram for those interested. And what happens is that this new moon actually happens in the sidereal zodiac, in the constellation of Scorpio, in the Jyeshta nakshatra, in the last pada. And in general, this nakshatra doesn't have a good or a positive significance, but we can have, for example, some disturbing news like corporate takeovers or distraction in some way that could influence the markets, because Jyeshta is related to that. And we saw quite a few, especially with crypto exchanges, all sorts of news. So it could be that some turbulence will trigger this. And this is not valid only for the new moon, but also for the next 2 weeks following it. And we do have also to take into account the fact that this moon actually in the constellation of sidereal Scorpio is really in a positive angle towards Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it is meant to bring transformation, Scorpio, in regards to big money, again, Scorpio. And we can expect here, some link to ETFs. So there is still optimism in this regard. Now, the major day of the whole week is the 13th of December, where we do not have any other specific aspect, but we have Mercury turning retrograde. And I will tell you more about this at the end of the video. It's in the mid of the week. Then the next day, on December 14th, it is a Thursday, we have a Sun Trine North Node, Rahu, which is good. Trine brings expansion in the markets, it's expansion with ease in general. People are more lucky with Rahu, and we do have the potential towards exaggeration. So be aware of that. The growth that will be experienced, usually it's not really sustainable. And if you get to have any profit, it's good to exit if your horizon is pretty short, so to speak. Then on Friday, we do have two positive aspects, and we have also a green fire. So please look at the bright sun, no cloud in the sky, because we have Mercury trine Lilith and Mars trine Chiron. And Mercury's trine with Lilith, again, it's about increased risk appetite and speculation. So appetite for speculation as well in the markets, and it's like a hidden Lilith adventure. So we don't care so much about the means, but we care very much about the goal. And we do have Mars trine Chiron, which would really signal a recovery of the previous market drops. So how can you read it? So since this is focused on the whole market, not on Bitcoin or on Ethereum, you can read it that if we had, serious drops, especially for some assets previously, we will see some recovery. Of course, not the same to all of them, because their own astrology really matters. And overall, a favorable aspect for market growth. So this is what happens. This fire, the green fire, is at hourly level. So during the day, we might get a nice spike because Uranus influences the movement of the moon, and we will see price increases during the day. Again, with Uranus, they are usually erratic. They will not be sustainable. Then Saturday, we do not have any aspect. I do think, though, that the positive influences from the previous day will be felt because there are two aspects and they are quite strong. And we will have in the second part of the day influences from the next. Again, it's low transaction volume on the weekend. On Sunday, we do have a Sun-Neptune square, which can bring some disillusionment, so delusion, disappointment, some confusion in the markets as well, because it's Neptune, which is related to smoke, confusion, sleep, so not seeing things clearly. Still, it's a low intensity aspect, and we can expect that it's active for Monday only, and maybe half of a day. Of course, it depends what is there, if it's worse or it's better in the next week on the 18th. So stay tuned for that as well. Now, as promised, I would like to tell you more about this Mercury retrograde. And is it bad? Because it might have this reputation that things are slowing down. Yes, they are in a way. But what is good about the retrograde is the fact that we might have a much nicer increase in general if the retrograde movement is favorable. And what do I mean by that? Any retrograde motion in general would necessitate more time to wait and also increased efforts to realize anything in general in life. But the result can be 3 times more durable, 3 times bigger, and it can bring 3 times more satisfaction. So don't think that it's doom and gloom. When a planet goes retrograde, first of all, it will go stationary. We will feel it at the new moon as well. So it will be quite a strong energy. And it appears like Mercury would really stop in the sky. So it will really persist to that same degree, and it will influence positively or negatively some financial assets. So for sure, some of them, depending on their natal chart, will really benefit of this. So just be aware that Mercury retrograde is not bad at all times. Of course, because the planet will really insist upon certain degrees, some other assets will not benefit at all. So either it won't be any aspect or it would be a negative one. So this is the problem. And since retrograde planets are closer to the Earth, they do have a bigger aura, so to speak. So their energy is bigger, and the influence that they have on the financial assets, for better or worse, is stronger. Therefore, it's always good to see this part of astrology, what happens in the markets, and this to be correlated with the financial asset itself. Now, I would like to tell you also the last bit that is more linked to the financial assets in general for Mercury. And actually for any other planet, again, for better or worse. When a planet goes retrograde, you can really inspect what is the influence on a certain set of coins. And for sure, when the planet will go directly, it will cross those degrees, and the same effect will be really brought to completion. So for example, there are some nice old coins that had very nice growth, and you can see what happened now while the planet is retrograde. So for example, also for Mercury, but the same thing can be done for Jupiter or Saturn. And then to really keep track of it, so maybe, yes, you lost the first train, but then the next train is really available to you if you know how to tap into this energy. So what is good for retrograde is that it gives you confidence. It prepares you for the future, for selecting those assets that really have potential, and it's a sort of tried and tested because you see how much they increased. So if you can go into that, it is great for future trading and investment. Now, I want to thank you for your attention, for liking and subscribing. It helps the channel. I appreciate it. And until next time, be joyful.